Hello everybody and welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews, and today we have a rather simple game on our hands, but I still feel like I'll have a lot to talk about. Mafia 3. Mafia 3, if you don't know what that is a game that you play as a guy named Lincoln Clay, a Vietnam War veteran who comes back from the war to find out his family has mob ties with Sal Marcano, and they're kind of under him. And you kind of in the early stages of the game. There's a lot of cutscenes. You meet your family of back coming from back from home. You meet Sal Marcano and his son, one of his sons, and they're really nice to you at first and all that. And then he ends up betraying you, Sal Marcano, which betrays you and your entire family, and in a very severe way. And then after that, Lincoln Clay wakes up in a hospital, and he's set off on his revenge story. I would like to think that he's set off with this kind of angel and devil on his shoulder. The angel being a guy named Father James, which is a priest around in the city he grew up in or whatever. And the devil being Billy Donovan, which is an old war buddy that essentially helps him on his quest of revenge. When it comes to the gameplay, it's probably one of the coolest assassin games I've ever played. I felt like a hitman. You're just on a quest for blood and murder. Surprisingly, this game has one of the best radio stations I've ever played or ever seen in any game ever. Take place in like the 70s. You know, it's a Mafia game. It really feels like I like the vibe of the city. You know, I get the vibes that we're back in this day and age. Like I said, one of the best radios has great songs, great old music. It's a repetitive, fun type of gameplay. I would say you're killing. You have like 8 rackets or so, or 9, and you have to take out like 2. You have these 2 racket areas, and then you gotta take down the money in these areas to get to one of the racket bosses. And there's 2 bosses in each racket. Then after you take out those 2 bosses, there's another head boss, and then after you take out all the bosses of all the racket areas, you get to the final boss. And it's very repetitive, but it's kind of fun gameplay. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of kill everyone in every location. Like, I killed people while they were cooking on the barbecue. I killed people while they were killing other people. Like, I was sent after this area to go kill these other mobsters, and they were holding someone off of a roof as I was like going to kill them. So they were about to kill someone. I stopped someone from being buried alive one time. It was really cool. Like I said, I've killed people while they were at the barbecue, killed people while they were at a funeral of someone else I killed. You literally at a funeral LSD this entire like party or funeral celebration thing for this guy. LSD drug everyone there so you can get to someone. That was kind of a cool thing. There's cool locations like a riverboat, casino, construction sites, a bathhouse. You end up stopping stuff like slave trades. Like, these things all sound neat, but they're all handled the same way pretty much. You just stealth around and do the same kind of stabbing animations and kind of just do the same shit over and over again. But you're essentially just taking out different types of rackets and all that. When you take over these districts, you can assign them to 3 of your underbosses. First one being Vito Scaletta, the character from Mafia 2, probably my favorite of the 3 by far. A guy named Burke, an Irish drunk, which happens to be the father of someone that you were with that ended up getting betrayed with you. I thought he was cool. And then the Haitian woman, I literally don't remember her name. I'm not racist, I promise. And she was my least favorite of the 3. We just didn't get along. But I ended up surviving with all 3 of them in the end, because there is a way where you can have those people turn on you if you don't give them out your rackets and stuff like that. And even when you do give them rackets, you earn specialties from those 3 people. Like, Vito gives you men that you can call and help back you up, and Burke will get the cops off you, and the Haitian woman will like turn off the phone and send supplies to you and shit like that. That's some RPG elements, but you know, they're minor. Like, it's the only time you ever feel like you're part of a mob. Other than that, you're basically a one-man army with the goal of assassinating whoever your target is pretty much each time. That's how I took it. Ran around with a silenced pistol the whole time. Those are pretty much all the positive things I gotta say about this game. Now, let's break it down to the things I hate, from the little things to to really how I look at this game perspective wise. I have a different perspective on this game, I think. First of all, the driving is terrible. I don't know. I watched some other reviews that said this driving was improved from the Mafia 2. I think it's horrible. They even add down a slow down like button to like slow down time when you're driving, and that's the only time you can slow down time. They did that because driving is so garbage. You have to slow down the time. I don't know. It's very minor, but like GTA driving is perfect. I don't know why they can't just. They're trying to be like GTA, so just copy the driving. Thank you. Um, the sky is kind of weird, and the weather effects are kind of weird. I'm playing this game very late in its lifespan, so they fixed a lot of the bugs at launch, but it still wasn't the greatest thing looking compared to the rest of the city, and the cutscenes and everything else looked great. The sky and weather, it was always like sunny as hell out while it was raining. It didn't really make sense, and it happened multiple times. Um, I came across like one or two bugs still where sometimes my reinforcements just wouldn't help me, or my car would glitch through the floor or something. That happened like twice, 3 times maybe. Like I've mentioned, it's very repetitive. I did say it's repetitive fun, but it is very repetitive. If you don't like what you're doing in the first time you go out and kill someone, if you don't like that, you're not gonna like the last 30 hours of the game. It's the same shit. Um, I would say there's no character development whatsoever. Lincoln Clay has one mindset and that's it. At the very end, they try to make it seem like he can redeem himself. I don't think he ever, in my opinion, Lincoln Clay showed no sign of redemption the entire time of like any cutscene they do throw at you, because it's very terribly paced. That's one thing I should mention. The story and overall is average. They hit you with a bunch of cutscenes in the beginning, quite a few decent ones at the end, and then sprinkle some in between when you finish like some rackets. But it's very terribly paced, and but I didn't mind. Like I said, the beginning and end was very nice. I love one of the ending scenes. You end up sitting down and having a drink with Sal Marcano, and I just thought that was a cool moment when all that shit goes down. I really thought there should have been more of that stuff. The way you kill people, kill some of the bosses is really cool. I wish I knew who they were. Spoil one kill way you kill someone, you hang someone from a Ferris wheel as it's going up. You stick someone on a statue one point in a funny way, but you know, stuff like that. Those are cool. Yes, I mentioned terrible pacing. The game is way too long. It's like 30 hours long. With this subpar of a story, it should be like 10 hours long. And now to like my really thought of why this game has the problems it has. This game, Mafia 3, is like almost the exact opposite of Mafia 2. I remember playing Mafia 2 a very long time ago, so I could be wrong on some things, but the way I remember it is that game had amazing story with very average to minimal kind of gameplay. I mean, it was just driving and shooting, and it was a lot of driving. I remember hating how much driving I had to do in Mafia 2. I never felt like I hated the driving in Mafia 3. There's a bit of it, but I mean, I hated the type, how you drive, but the distances weren't that bad, you know? Mafia 2 distances just felt like things were forever. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the difference is, but I just didn't like Mafia 2 driving either. And it was just a lot of it. And the story was great and very minimal gameplay. My point is that Mafia 3 is like almost the exact opposite of Mafia 2. It's got really one solid gameplay mechanic it's very solid in like how you kill things. It's very fun, fluid, satisfying. But the story is very lackluster. You don't feel, there's no like twist. There's no feelings towards anyone. It just feels like the opposite of Mafia 2. And now what they need to do is combine the ideas of Mafia 2 and 3. Like, you know, have the great old school story with Vito Scaletta. Like, do you guys remember the ending of Mafia 2? Which there's a little, one of Vito's side missions in Mafia 3 is tied to Mafia 2, and that was cool. I praised the game for that. But it just could have been better. You don't ever feel like you're part of the Mafia in Mafia 3, and I missed it so much. And also another way I looked at this game was Father James was the main character. If I tried my best to take a lot of enjoyment from this game, and I did enjoy it. It wasn't terrible. And I looked at it as Father James being the main character. Father James was he just had to deal with him, because Father James is the reason you're alive after Sal Marcano betrays you. I'll say that. He's part of the reason you're still alive. It's very early in the game, so don't worry, I'm not spoiling too much. Um, and I think Father James just has to deal with you being alive and seeing what you do as this murderous, rampaging beast, and the way he reacts all the way through is probably the only sense of emotion you'll get from anyone. So Father James was by far the best character, the main character if you want any sense of character development at all. Billy Donovan was a cool side character too. Didn't have much development, but he at least had charisma, and he was charismatic and funny. Him and Lincoln Clay had great chemistry. Lincoln Clay, again, great voice acting, but I just felt like he just didn't have any emotion besides I want revenge until the very end of the game when they give you a chance to change your mind, but I didn't even feel like that fit. There's multiple endings. I keep mentioning the ending. I got an okay ending. Lincoln Clay was doing good at the end, but I would say, yeah, that's overall my Mafia 3 review. Mafia 2 was better. I like that style way more. They need to converge those two, but I would give this game a nice solid 7 out of 10. It's not as bad as anyone ever says, but if you don't like the first 4 hours of the game, the gameplay wise, you're not gonna like the rest. But if you see it on sale, I'd pick it up. It was a good playthrough. See, I'm hoping for Mafia 4 to be a great mixture of these two type of gameplays in Mafia 3 and 2. Let me know what you guys thought of this game when it came out, and what you guys think of my take on the game, and anything I said about being Father James being the main character, and comparing the comparisons to Mafia 2. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that. I appreciate everyone for watching. Thanks. Bye.